Hello, what's up? And welcome back to the Karsch and Anderson program here on 97.1 The Ticket. What's up? Are we good? We're good. Just got a hostile hand gesture from Kang.
Oh.
It's not that gesture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hand, not a finger.
Dude, I want to talk about
Fair.
Jameson Williams, NFLPA's community MVP this week.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He gave, is it $10,000 worth of coats? Or maybe he gets $10,000 to, he can make a $10,000 donation to the nonprofit of his choice. That's cool.
From the moment he got here, he has wanted to help kids out, and he's been awesome.
Yeah.
You know, he's like a big kid himself, and he just wants to take care of kids in the community, and I love a story like this.
We have to make sure we point it out and give him a lot of credit, and depending on how the weekend goes, maybe champ of the weekend votes, given that, you know, when things go wrong, it feels like everybody wants to talk about him. Well, this is one of our dudes who's come under some scrutiny, and it was Adam Schefter. Let me read this tweet. Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams is the Week 15 NFLPA Community MVP for donating 250 new winter coats for kids at DBG Detroit. He and his foundation also teamed up with Comerica Bank to donate $10,000 towards local youth organizations youth programming, and he actually linked JMO's linked for JMO's Community MVP award. So good for JMO. Good for Jameson Williams. Way to go, buddy.
Great for JMO.
Yep. Great for Detroit. Okay. So Gator, look, it's a massive football game on Sunday, and obviously it's taken the back burner with the news out of Ann Arbor. 6-point underdogs, Rams 10-3 atop the NFC standings. How do you upset the Rams? Kang said it earlier, turnovers. Can they create turnovers? Well, without their two playmaking safeties, and it doesn't look like Kirby Joseph is going to play, against a quarterback who's just not turning it over this year, if turnovers are the key, this formula does not look great against this opponent. But you know what else didn't look great? Last week when the league's most explosive offense, when it came to either 20 or 30-plus yard plays, which I can't remember if it was 20 or 30, my apologies, against the defense that had given up the most 20 or 30-yard plays in the Lions, Dallas's explosive offense, it didn't kill the Lions. They made their plays, but that matchup looked terrible for Detroit, and it turned out to be okay. So, can they do it again? Can they buck the trend, create some turnovers?
I think it's really hard against this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rams are they're very buttoned up when it comes to that. I don't think they're going to turn them over 3 times like they were able to turn over the Cowboys 3 times. I mean, Dallas, one of the reasons the Lions were able to do that was they got pressure on the quarterback, and that changes everything. It speeds everything up. And I don't know if they're going to get a whole lot of pressure on Matthew Stafford. Kelvin Shepard's got his work cut out for him to create more of that pressure. He was under a lot of scrutiny going into last week's game, and they answered the bell. They came out and they did, whether it's bringing extra linebackers or whatever. El-Kadim Muhammad had himself a game with 3 sacks. I don't suspect it's going to happen again this week, but let's hope that the pass rush is improved and the linebacker is going to have to play a huge role in it too. Because if Stafford is going to sit back there and wait, and he's got like 4 and 5 seconds to throw the ball, Puka Nacua is going to get open. There's no question. It's just how it works. And we love the routes that the Lions can run when Jared Goff has time to throw, because it gives Jameson Williams time to come across the field. And
Yep.
It's just a matter of time before he's getting the separation, because he's so damn fast and so gifted that if you give him time, that route that runs across the field where he's only 10 yards downfield turns into a 50-yard gain and maybe a touchdown every time if he has time to throw.
Yep.
Stafford has been deadly like that with Nacua all season long, and for the last couple of years. Turnovers it'd be huge. I'm not expecting them to get turnovers. What I'm hoping for defensively is that they can get a little bit of a rush, get some pressure so Stafford doesn't have the time to sit back there and pick them apart. And you said before about making sure that look at the number of field goal attempts in the game. I'm hopeful that we're going to see the Rams with like 3 or more field goal attempts in the game.
FGA.
Yeah, because
FGA.
that means they're not getting in the end zone.
We've talked about it last week going into the Dallas game, and it was 5 field goal attempts. I don't expect there to be that many, but keep track of every time the Rams trot out the kicker for a field goal attempt and not an extra point. That's kind of feels like a win. Now, if you trot out the punter, even better, or if they don't get to kick at all.
Right.
Yeah. Feedback coming in. How do the Lions beat the Rams? Tyler writes in via Twitter, defense needs to show up. I'm not asking for 5 sacks again, but 2 big-time sacks. We need stops, would help a lot. Contain the pass game and give the offense a chance. Speaking of offense, Goff needs protection from an O-line to make passes. Gibbs and Monty need to rush for 150 yards total.
Yeah, that's another side of it. Looking at the offensive side, I'd love to see the Lions be balanced and be able to run for at least 150 yards and then throw for close to 300 yards. That'd be great. Have this machine going. Being able to run the ball means you're controlling the clock a little bit. We've seen the Lions have some great long drives. That'd be awesome if they could start the first quarter like that and march down the field with a good 7-8 minute drive, 80 yards or 75 yards, and end up in the end zone. And I'd like to see a big game from Montgomery and Gibbs. I mean, I'm expecting Gibbs to be involved as he always is. Will he get his rushing yards? I don't know. I know he's going to get his receiving yards.
Yeah.
But will he get the rushing yards? He's going to be able to break one. Let's hope that he can. But David Montgomery could be a major key in this game.
How about this from Raymond? They have no shot. Stafford is tired of losing to his former team. Stafford will throw for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns, 2 to Devontae Adams, and win by double digits. The loss of Brian Branch will hurt big time.
Well, I don't agree with the first part where he says they have no chance. I think their analysis could be, look, Stafford could go off and have a huge game. And
still lose.
And it's not going to surprise me. Yes, he could have a huge game and still lose.
Because you know what? I've thought of this nickname for him because he gets big stats, but he doesn't always win games.
Okay.
So I've thought of this nickname.
You got a nickname for him?
Instead of Matt Stafford, Scott. Call him Stat Padford.
Oh.
Because he gets a lot of stats.
He pads his stats?
Yeah. Look, I don't know what the total is on Stafford passing yards, but it's pretty high.
I'm going to guess it's probably started at 250. Yeah. Over under 250 something. He's having a phenomenal season. He's having his best year as a pro. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's not a running quarterback, but he's got mobility in that he can weave around the pocket a little bit. He's not going to take off and run for 15 yards. But the other thing he does is he has the off-platform throw where he can buy himself a little bit of extra time, and then he contorts his arm and body in a different way to slide the ball out so he's not taking sacks.
So stopping the offense is going to be obviously very difficult. You just mentioned Stafford's having an MVP-type season.
Yeah.
He doesn't turn the ball over. He's throwing for a ton of yards. To try to limit Stafford is going to be very difficult. I think the Rams are going to score 25, 20, 30 points on the Lions. It's the turnovers, if they can come 1 or 2, even if it's a big momentum changer. I think the other thing is what you can control on offense is ball control. You mentioned Montgomery type run game. This is where those long drives keeps that offense, the other team's offense, off the field. That's the way you can control Rams and the Stafford offense. Their last game they lost was the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are not as good as the Lions, okay? So the Lions can definitely beat the Rams. How did they beat the Rams? They forced 3 turnovers. They still had to score 30-plus points to beat the Rams.
Yeah.
And I think that's the formula for the Lions as well. They still got to outscore these teams. But, by the way, if they stop them on 4th down, I consider that a turnover as well because teams seem to go for it a lot on 4th down against the Lions.
That's a turnover.
31-28 was the final score of that Carolina game where they beat the Rams.
How many interceptions did Stafford have in that game?
He had 2 interceptions, and the Panthers forced a fumble.
So that's a terrible game for Stafford, and yet they still
had 2
scored
interceptions.
20.
Yeah.
I forget if one was tipped or not, and that's always a messy problem. But that's the other side. What Goff has to do. Goff, by the way, has also had an MVP type season. He and Stafford have had a very similar year. But Goff is going to have to make sure that he's not throwing interceptions. The Lions' offensive line is going to make sure that they have to give him time to throw because they have some very gifted pass rushers. They've got a
Yeah, their
linebacker that's got a
defensive
ton
front-
of sacks,
yeah,
and
their
they've got
defensive
Jared
fronts are
Verse
strong.
and the other guys out there that get after the quarterback. So, you'd like to see Jared Goff be able to set up in a pocket. And if he's able to set up in a pocket, then I have full confidence the Lions are going to score a bunch of points. The over-under in this game is set, I think, right now at 53.5. I mean,
you feel
or
the over?
It's 54.5. I love the over. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and it's nothing new to either quarterback. And, it's being played indoors. The elements are out of it. This is going to be a fun game to watch.
I got a question for Lions fans everywhere we'll get to today at 12:18. The over-under passing yards for Stafford in this game, 277.5. For Goff, 253.5. So a lot of slinging it coming up on Sunday.